This week, we've got another Xbox centric episode with lawsuits, app stores, and even clouds. This is the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. I'm your host, Spencer, and with me is a man just begging to be placed in an expulsion room at work because he's not quitting. That's right, he's not leaving. He's not fucking leaving. This is his fucking home. I fucked it up. I had it all written out and I fucked it up. Had
You
the
just said it
whole
like
quote.
Conor McGregor.
This is his fucking home. What is wrong with me? All right, we're going to take that from the top. With me is a man begging to be placed in an expulsion room. I'm not going to cut any of this, by the way. This is all staying in, but I'm just going to run through it again. With me is a man begging to be placed in an expulsion room at work because he's not quitting. That's right. He's not leaving. He's not fucking leaving. This is his home. They're going to need a fucking wrecking ball to take him out of here. They're going to need to send in the National Guard or a fucking SWAT team because he ain't going nowhere. It's my co-host, Mike. Mike, how are you?
That was awesome. I'm ready to run through a wall.
Yeah, dude. Fucking terrible.
As soon as you said he's not leaving, it started playing in my head.
Yeah, like, you know.
That was perfect.
I thought about it. I was like, will he know like all the beats to like, cheer and like all that stuff? But I was just like, that's a lot of coordination. So this is exactly what I was talking about before we started, how like we both will sometimes have really good ideas and then the execution is terrible. And then it happens immediately. I was like, oh my God, I have a great idea for your intro. And then Flub City.
At least you executed. I think the basis of our conversation this morning is that we have great ideas and then we just
normally don't
go
execute.
to die.
Yeah. Fair play. That is in reference to, in case people don't know, I mean, I think it's a typical thing in Japan, but especially right now, there's been a fairly big news story about Bandai Namco needing to like close down or cancel a bunch of projects that they were working on. I think the article you sent specifies that they had one that was for Nintendo. I saw one that was apparently 2 games, one that was set in Naruto, one that was set in One Piece. Anyway, in Japan, they're sending staff to expulsion rooms where they're basically given nothing to do. And the gist of this move and method is to try and get people to quit on their own because of how Japan's labor laws work. In America, you can just send them packing.
Yeah. Could you imagine if we had the concept of expulsion rooms in the United States?
I mean,
like, this is sweet.
Yeah.
People... It'd be like did you watch Silicon Valley?
Yes.
It'd be like when they send Big Head to the roof.
Yes.
Just rest and invest.
Yeah, the American mind cannot comprehend. The American mind is just, I mean, not even given any notice. You walk in on a random Wednesday and sayonara.
Yeah.
Good luck finding another job.
Your badge doesn't work.
No.
They're dropping your box of shit from the roof.
Yeah. If it were my desk, there'd be nothing on it. So,
yeah,
nothing to drop.
It'd be really funny if my work sent me to an expulsion room. Like they just found a way to get into my house, and I just walk into my home office one day, and there's just nothing in here.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny. How long do you think it would take you to until you got to a point where you're like, yeah, this isn't for me, I'm going to quit?
I don't know. There's like a part of me that's like, oh shit, I get paid to do nothing. Great.
Because I mean, I imagine the gist is that like these aren't work from home jobs, right? Like,
no, I imagine they're in office.
I'm imagining they're in office, right? So you're just
probably
going in.
Not very long.
Because I think the concept of it is just like, hell yeah. But then it's like, well, you can only scroll on your phone or do stuff on your phone for 8 hours a day for so long before.
I wonder if they like take that stuff from you.
Yeah, I don't know. And then at that point, that's got to be a form of 21st century torture.
I imagine.
I think that has to somehow violate like international humanity laws.
I think I would just get jacked.
I'm sorry, what?
Like I would just be in there like pretending it's the yard. I'd just be doing push-ups all day.
Yeah, all they give you is a bench to sit on, but you're using it to like do lifted push-ups and dips and
I'd go in there and like my business casual, and I'd come out at the end of the day and it would just be tearing off of me.
you're, you're just walking past people. Got a good sweat in today, huh? Um, no, it's pretty crazy. And it's also crazy that like this is their way around just like firing people. Um, I'd be really interested to see like what the average tenure is of a person from the point in which they are like placed on this the expulsion room, right? Like how long does the average person last until they do just quit?
Yeah.
And is it like actually the effective way? That's crazy.
We should see if the uh leading authority in the extreme can do a survey on it. Uh Known as Mr. Beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today we're in a Japanese expulsion room. What?
Today, we have closed down a company. This company is no longer making any money, but we cannot fire the entire workforce at once. 50
So
contestants.
instead, so instead we're making an Amazon special.
But before that, buy Lunchly. That would get
I hope
people
he
to quit.
listens to our podcast.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
you
not.
walk into the expulsion room and Mr. Beast is there and you're like, I'm done.
Yeah. I quit.
Yeah, you got me.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is not worth my time. I don't care what the prize is at the end.
What if I tell you it's a Tesla?
I'm out.
It's 8 Teslas.
I'm out. uh, what games have you been playing?
Uh, More Star Wars Outlaws,
Okay, nice. Still
which
enjoying it?
yeah, I'm enjoying it more now. I've gotten into the groove of things. I kind of understand it a little bit better. Um, I'm also like trying to just do like a stealth playthrough of it.
Sure.
Because I find that's like the only way I can really enjoy it. Um, it's like not to say that the combat isn't fun. It's just not challenging.
Okay.
So for me, it's just way more fun to just try to stealth through, and like even to the point of not even knocking enemies out, like just literally trying to get around them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is there like a
Um,
system of if you like knock somebody out, like another guard sentry can like spot that body and then like be on alert?
yeah. But there's also, and here's my huge, huge gripe with stealth games like this. There is a system for that, but there's also no way to move bodies,
Ooh, yeah. Yep. That's a no.
which is annoying. But there's a bunch of mechanics for distracting enemies.
Okay.
So you can try to like lure them into an area where they won't be found. And
Right.
it's very like classic stealth where like the guards only follow predetermined paths
Sure.
unless there's like a disturbance. So I mean, it's good and bad. I would rather just be able to move them,
Right.
but it adds a little extra challenge to a not challenging game. So that's fine. Um yeah, I found too that there's a bunch of different paths you can take a lot of the time. So that makes it a little more enjoyable to just kind of do like a stealth playthrough. And you often go back to places so you
Okay.
can like find different ways to do things.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. And if they're not going to
Um
give you a new Splinter Cell, you gotta make you gotta make lemonade somehow.
yeah, exactly. Well, they are going to make a new Splinter Cell apparently, or a new old Splinter Cell.
Uh,
That's kind of like news we haven't talked about either.
oh, I didn't see this.
Yeah, Ubisoft came out and said they are still working on the remake. So that felt like a small win.
I hate it here.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely a win.
Yeah. Um yeah, I've been enjoying that. I think the only thing I don't really enjoy is like traveling from area to area. Like you get like a like a speeder kind of thing,
Okay.
and it's just hard to keep track of like the paths, and you can't like off-road really.
Oh,
Like I
interesting.
was doing this like real-time event came up, and it was on top of a hill, and it was kind of more like a mesa, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll stop at the bottom. And there was like ledges you could see. I was like, oh, I'll just climb up the side. No, you couldn't. Like you
Oh,
can't jump on anything that isn't like textured to be climbed, which is kind of lazy in my opinion. Um so then you have to like ride around and figure out how to get in the way they want you to.
yeah, that can be kind of frustrating.
I've also driven off the map. I don't know how, but I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say that feels like something that shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, well, it is. Um I don't know if it was just like I went with my speeder off too high of like a peak and it just kind of like respawns you immediately, but the screen basically just went black. I got no feedback at all. Um so that was fine. I don't know. I'm other than that, I'm enjoying it. Uh the options to fast travel are pretty abundant. So I just take advantage of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're still enjoying it. That game really, I mean, just absolute mixed bag of reactions.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of seems like primarily bad, but
yeah, I mean, I think this is also just unfortunately very Ubisoft right now. I
hmm
think the problem is that like most of their games don't feel like a day one buy. And this one I think like really teetered that line. Um but I just feel like so often like a Ubisoft game is like, yeah, I'll get that for $40 in a couple months,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, they're
Um
certainly not day one buys
this was the
most of the
first
time.
one I would say like seemed to be their strongest, but now like post release and stuff you know, a lot of people have had issues and stuff like that, but I'm very happy to hear that you're not really running into too much that's like ruining the experience for you. So,
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of dumb stuff, but you can just kind of get over it and
right.
move on and appreciate the good things. And there's certainly a lot more good than bad, I think.
Yeah. No, that's great. Any national championships? Any
Uh, I did play a couple of games of college football, but no natties since. Um, played some Mario Kart. Thought I was
Okay.
gonna play some Mario Party because like the pre-install happened like last week, last Wednesday, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Oh, sweet, I'll play it this weekend." And then we traveled, and I didn't bring the Switch with me. But we went to play it last night, and it's like, "You can't play this game." And I said, "Why not?"
I think it comes out today.
The 17th, yeah,
The people who are listening, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So I was like, "Why was the pre-download so early?"
trying to think. I saw. Let's see. I'm very excited. I will be playing that Friday. Because our one friend is getting it. And we're doing a Mario party.
Very nice.
Um, I'm very excited for this one. I think
It's getting good reviews.
IGN gave it like a
A
9,
9,
which you know,
basically a 10.
yeah. And they seem to say that like it was kind of like going back to, like an older Mario Party feel. And then I think in that same vein, I saw GameSpot said that like it felt a little too bloated, and I was just like, no, I think it's probably the right amount because
Yeah.
I feel like, but if you're a fan of any of the Switch Mario parties, then I could see, like, if you're like, wow, I really like these, I could see you not liking, um, like Mario Party 4, 5, like the GameCube ones, but those were so fucking good. And there's a
Yeah, Mario
lot
Party
in those
4 is
games.
fantastic.
So I'm stoked.
I
Yeah,
I've been so the last Mario Party that came out, um, really enjoyed playing, but we did everything in like a night.
yeah,
It's like I don't understand. There was like 4 maps and like not all that many mini games.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm
I
excited.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think a lot of the mini games, if not all of them, are new mini games
Oh, really?
in the new game. I think. Now, I could be totally talking out of my ass, but I know that was the whole thing with the newest one that had released. Um, I can't remember what. Do you remember what it was called?
What's the new one called?
Mario Party Jamboree.
Well, it's something Jamboree. Like there's another word in there, and whatever it's the same name, they just added Jamboree, I think.
Oh, really? Well, whatever the old one, the newest All Stars, Mario Party All Stars was the one that came out.
Yeah,
Like,
and this one's like All Stars Jamboree.
oh, okay. Well, that one was like all like maps from the first Mario Party, the second Mario Party, and the third Mario Party, or something like that. And
Yeah.
then all the games were from the GameCube and older, I think. Like
They
the
had games
GameCube
from the first 3 as well.
and yeah, GameCube and like the 64
Yeah.
games. But I don't think any maps from the GameCube. And I
No.
think the thing that
Well,
did they?
yeah, you're right.
Okay. I think the thing that like frustrates me with that is that it's like, look at what they did with Mario Kart.
Hmm.
The way they set up this game, it's like just put all of the maps in, put every single old map in. Who
I
cares?
thought that was the plan,
Right.
was to treat it like Mario Kart.
And I don't know if you and I just like spun that up out of thin air and just like made a lot of assumptions, but like
We're idea guys.
we're big idea
What can I say?
guys. But like how perfect would have that been? And it's just like who cares? They're old maps. Like they're from old games. Just put them all in. You can just do a slow trickle release and then you have this big massive hulking Mario Party game at the end of it all. And bring back 50 turns.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong? Like 20 turns is the max? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I want to play all night.
So anyway, I'm very excited. Very excited to play some more Mario Party. I love Mario Party.
Me too. Is this gonna have online? Do you know? Should we spin up this idea and be completely wrong on something, but make it better, even though
Um, yeah, I think it does.
that'd be cool.
I'm not looking at anything. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah,
Yeah, it
I'm pretty
does.
sure it does.
Sweet.
Why do I feel like the most recent one had online?
It very well did. And it's one of those things like I'm always very excited for games to have online, and I just never play them.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty par for the course. I mean, we had our whole you know GGBG Olympics idea, and then I still haven't gotten Switch Sports.
Yeah, you should. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know I should. Listen here, bub.
You bub me.
I'll bub you. All right. So, Star Wars Outlaws. Played a couple of college football games. Thought you were gonna play Mario Party. Did you and Justine play any other multiplayer games?
We played more of that Boomerang Foo game,
Hell yeah.
the prop hunt mode, which was still a ton of fun. Um, we played Mario Kart Tour this weekend on our phones,
Oh, nice.
and we played that a long time ago. And for some reason, it feels harder now, like the controls.
Maybe it's just because you've gotten older,
Likely.
and it's just it doesn't work for your old hands anymore.
Yeah, my two whatever it's been 2 years older hand.
Yeah. The arthritis is trickling in. That's that's maybe too real. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Anything else?
No, I think that was it.
Nice. That's a very very solid week for you.
Yeah, I had a good week
Very good.
somehow.
Um, my week was full of choose your own adventure style games. Do you remember Road 96? Came out
Yes.
like probably 2 years ago now at this point. Um, finally started playing that. Um, really really neat game. I didn't fully understand the concept of it. But basically each time you start the game, your goal is to get to Road 96 and to like cross the border. And uh you're a new runaway teen every single time you like start a new game, and you interact with, there's like 6 or 7 specific characters that like you like choose your method of like moving, and then you'll like hit a point, and then you'll end up interacting with one of these characters, and you like get some of their story, and then you do the next thing and you interact with another one of the characters and you get a little bit of their story, and then you like get to the end. And I love how they like pieced it all together. It's a really fun story to like interact with and stuff. Um, so I've been having a lot of fun with that. And again, not entirely what I was expecting. I mean, I knew it was like a lot of like heavy narrative stuff, but or like very narrative focused. But again, I just didn't really understand, I guess, or fully realize what the actual method was of like intaking that story.
Hmm.
Really cool concept how they did it.
I remember that game being all over the place. Was that PS4 or PS3 era?
Uh no, it's PS5. It came out again like 2 years ago, I think.
Oh, then I have no idea what you're talking about. I remember there being like a PlayStation Plus game that had a similar name and like a yellow road sign logo, but maybe I'm thinking of completely different name. What's it called? Route 96?
Road 96.
Road 96. Yeah, this is the logo I'm thinking of. Is it really 2021? Well, shit. I thought this was much older.
Bro, whatever game you were playing on the PS3.
Well, I didn't play it. I remember being like a free game.
I don't
Was this a
even
free game?
I don't think so. I mean, it's now, like it's on the like extra tier or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I had actually bought it like last year during like the end of the year sale. Um
Interesting.
I like bought a bunch of games and this was one of them. But like just to like give the synopsis for anybody who doesn't like remember or have any idea what I'm talking about. Road 96 is a crazy, beautiful road trip, the discovery of exciting places and unusual people on your own personal journey to freedom. An ever evolving story driven adventure inspired by Tarantino, the Coen brothers, and Bong Joon Ho. I mean, literally, like, you got me. You got me with that right there. Like, that's enough for me to be like, yep, I want to play this game.
There you
And
go.
it nails it. Like, it really does, like, a cool thing. And, like, um, the I guess like kind of fun aspect of it is that like every time you're interacting with these characters, like I think one of the characters' names is Zoe, right? So like you'll interact with her when you're playing as like your first runaway, and then you'll interact with her at like a different point closer to like Road 96 as like your third runaway, and it's just so cool because like you're running into them again and you know pieces of their story, but like they're interacting with you as if like we like you've just met, right? And like it's just done so well. It's like it's really neat, really cool, and like the concept is pretty awesome. So um yeah, really enjoyed that. um and then another fairly cool experience, uh I played Doki Doki Literature Club.
New one for me.
Have you seen this? Have you heard of this?
I have not.
So it's a visual novel um that was like really big, probably, my god, probably like 4 years ago now at this point. But it only like just came to consoles, and it's like one of those like look at this look at this really cute and vibrant thing, and secretly it's dark and twisted and creepy and all those things. I wouldn't like fully say horror, but it's such an again just such an interesting concept, and like it's executed very well. Shelby asked me, she was like, did you have fun playing it? And I was like, I don't know if I would describe a visual novel necessarily as fun. Like, is a Telltale game fun?
Yeah, more in it for the story.
Right, like, and that's not a knock against it at all. The
No.
experience of it is phenomenal. Like, I would recommend somebody experience the game and like air quotes play it, right? But yeah, like it was just so cool. And then like there's a ton of like manipulation stuff that you have to do. Like, so the way they do it on console is that like when you quit out of the game, you go to like a faux desktop, and then you can like interact with like files and stuff like that. But if you're playing it on PC, you actually have to like interact with like your own actual files, um that are on your PC for the game and like the game's assets and stuff. Um
Interesting. I don't know how
anyway,
I feel about that.
it's 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 really really neat. I don't really know how else to describe it without getting into like anything that would be like too spoilery. Um but yeah. Uh but also at the same time it's a visual novel, so like, you know, it's pretty slow at points. A lot of just like reading and stuff like that. So you really have to be like in it for that and like understand that that's what you're going to be getting out of it. But yeah. So that was a decent bit of what I've been up to. Of course, I played some MLB. I also am in a rhythm right now of um, I don't know if you've heard of wild card football. I don't know if I've talked about this at all. But it's basically like a new NFL Street type game.
What?
Um, yeah,
On PS5?
yeah, it's on PS5, PS4. I'm guessing and assuming it's on Xbox. If you have EA Play as a part of Game Pass, you might have this game for free. Might. I think it's through EA, but I'm not sure actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, um, it's fun. There's like they have like a build your own squad type ultimate team mode, right? Um, because every sports game has to have that now, and um, so every day you get daily challenges. So I've gotten into a good MMO style, like gotta get on and do my chores. So like every day I'm doing my 3 daily challenges at the very least in that game. And then also like I mean it's a football game or it's a sports game, right? So it's just like you can just I've got an hour and like I don't feel like trying to dive into anything that's gonna really require a lot. I'll just play some wildcard football. Um Same goes for WWE 2K24. I downloaded that and also have been like, well, I'll get these online trophies at the very least out of the way. So like a lot of that has to do with like log on daily, do a couple of tasks. But I'm almost already done with those. So that one's less. But yeah, pretty much every day it's like first time I turn on my PlayStation, at the very least I got to go do Wildcard Football, WWE, get my login shit, get my daily quests done, and then it's like okay, now I can actually play video games if I want. But I love that. I love that sort of repetition and again like it almost can be described as like a chore,
Mm-hmm.
but my dumb monkey brain. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Probably
Wildcard
can't
Football.
commiserate, but
Wildcard Football, I would recommend for you. I think you would like
I was just thinking,
or really hate it.
just thinking about how I need a new football game.
Yeah. I would say you could probably use one less football game.
Is that right?
Okay, never mind. I wasn't thinking that actually. Please don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
All right. Shall we talk all things Microsoft?
We shall.
Big week for Microsoft and Xbox specifically. Where should we even begin? Should we how can we properly segue through the three fairly big stories? I guess if you're looking at our Discord, right?
Go in that order.
I feel like we should go 1, 3, 2.
Okay.
Right?
That works.
I think that makes sense because 2 kind of goes with 3, but I feel like it makes sense to talk about 3 before talking about 2.
But wouldn't it really be funny if we did 2, 1, 3?
Certainly would be. That would certainly be a way of doing it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, first up, we've got the lawsuit. As you all know, as you're all aware, Microsoft and Xbox have been dealing with a massive lawsuit filed by gamers saying that the Activision Blizzard acquisition is what is their claim? Unlawful?
Anti-competitive, probably.
Anti-competitive?
By gamers who know all about
Gamers.
anti-competition law.
Yeah, basically basically people were saying that that this would be terrible for games. Obviously, Microsoft had a huge back and forth with the FTC. That was probably what we talked about for a good year and a half before it finally was squashed and all said and done. The interesting thing about this one is that basically, Microsoft has settled the lawsuit, and the lawsuit has been dismissed with prejudice, so it cannot be refiled. So an interesting move. Also, we don't know how much Microsoft is paying, but it's pointed out that the agreement between Microsoft and the gamers also calls for both sides to pay their own legal fees. So I would really love to know how, again, the gamers in this situation, how truly they made out in all of this. Or if this is just the biggest nothing burger of all time and just a masterful gambit by Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, well, I completely forgot about this, but I do remember when it was being filed, and it just felt like a spiteful thing.
Yeah. Can you
But I
imagine?
don't know.
Can you imagine filing this because like you're a huge fan of Call of Duty, but you only have a PlayStation, so you're like,
Imagine having the fucking money to do this.
okay, well now this is over. Now I can no longer imagine this. At least where I was going was realistic for the time being, Michael.
Sorry.
No, that's a really good point. That is kind of the bare bones imagine this. But no, I'm literally thinking like imagine you're like a Call of Duty player, you're so mad that you're just seeing the writing on the wall. They're just gonna they're gonna make Call of Duty an exclusive. So you're like, we're gonna file this lawsuit. And then probably like 4 weeks after you filed this, it's like Phil Spencer, very calmly going, and for all the Call of Duty players, don't worry. Call of Duty will release day and date across all platforms, blah, 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 blah. And then you're just like,
Yeah,
fuck, why did we file this lawsuit?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
well, I guess we got to just keep it going because we're in for a penny.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's not like legal fees don't scale over time. It's
yeah,
like,
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Or you just had really good in the sense of for themselves lawyer on your side who was just whispering in your ear like, we got them right where we want them, guys. It would be foolish to quit now because we can get millions, if not billions, out of them. They
it
spent
very well
60
could be too.
they spent 69 billion on Activision. Just imagine how much money they'll give you suckers. Sorry, did I say suckers? Did I say that out loud? Just imagine how much they'll give you guys to make this all go away. So then they stayed in it, and then Xbox settled for 250,000, which will all go to the lawyer,
Yeah. Yep.
and then you have to pay fees on top of that.
Do you think it was just like a group of lawyers who got together? They're just like, we can do this.
Maybe.
Stranger things have happened.
I mean, that would be an infinite money hack, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think becoming a lawyer kind of is an infinite money hack.
Yeah. Being a lawyer and a landlord is probably it, right?
Yep.
That's yeah, that's wild. I'm with you. I had completely forgotten about this, and it made me think of other we'll call them funky lawsuits that have happened where gamers have rised up and tried to stick it to the big company. did we ever get anything out of the? Do you remember the PlayStation lawsuit that happened where it was like anti competition because the only place where you can get digital PlayStation games is through the PlayStation Store?
Oh yeah. I don't know if there ever was a resolution for that.
Yeah, I'll have to try and find something there because I can tell you this much: you can still only buy digital games on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, right. Because it used to be that you could buy the codes for specific games at like for example, you want a digital version of the game, but you have a Walmart gift card, so you could go to Walmart, buy a digital code there,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
And I don't see them anywhere. So
you definitely used to be able to do it on like Amazon. Amazon would be like disc or digital, and then they would
and can
send
you
you a
can you not
redemption
do
code.
that anymore?
No,
Wow.
not for PlayStation games.
And that was awesome too. I don't know if you remember like 2017, 2018 time frame where like if you pre-ordered a digital or even a physical game, I think it was digital or physical at Amazon, it was like $10 cheaper, or you'd get like a $10 Amazon credit.
Yeah.
That was what a time to be alive.
Yep.
I bought so many games I've never played because of that.
Yep. No longer.
Well, if that lawsuit is still going on, which I hope it is, hopefully Sony loses.
I mean, they won't, right?
No, they won't.
Um,
They will certainly win if they haven't already.
but that's like crazy too because like we're getting closer and closer to the realm of like your like only option for a console is going to be a like digital only console. Like we're getting
Right.
closer and closer to that, which is also just insane. Take that, rural America.
Yeah.
Good luck downloading your Call of Duty patch. Good luck downloading the game in the first place. Um, so anyway, but we're not here to talk about PlayStation
Or the politics of network infrastructure.
or the politics of network infrastructure. Yeah. No, instead, we're going to talk about another lawsuit real quick. A lawsuit against, well, I think it was a lawsuit, right? Against
Yeah.
Google.
Yep.
Do you want to take this?
Yeah. So, um, I should have probably read up more on who was actually suing. I think it was the FTC was suing Google, um, over them revoking the ability to have other app stores on Android devices, which, um, I don't know if anybody remembers, but like in early Android days, you used to be able to, I mean, you had the Google Play Store once that came around. Um, Amazon had an app store on Android for a while. Uh, and you used to be able to download games straight to your Xbox from the Xbox app and use codes and all that kind of stuff instead of needing to hunt and peck on the digital Xbox keyboard. Um, but that just kind of went away. And it was because Google decided to block any competing stores on Android devices. So your only option was the Google Play Store.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you questioned me yesterday or whenever I sent this, um, saying that you thought that Google already allowed that and Apple was the problem.
Yeah.
I think this has been multi-tiered. So Google started allowing like in-game stores. So like I don't know, PUBG for example on mobile, they started allowing so you could buy skins or whatever straight from the game and didn't have to be directed to the Google Play Store.
I gotcha.
Now, this lawsuit that Google has lost will now allow full marketplaces to come back up, which coincides with Xbox's plan to basically start an Xbox store via the Xbox app where you can um, buy games. They Sarah Bond did confirm that you're going to be able to buy Xbox games on mobile and have them download direct to your Xbox again, which is an old feature but coming back now. And I think we'll also start seeing the push of Xbox mobile games that run natively.
Right, like they're
Um,
going to be able to you're going to be able to play Xbox games on your phone.
right. I don't think they have really announced what that's going to be, but I imagine like all of the um, King games like Candy Crush,
Mm.
you'll probably start. I don't think they're going to pull from the Google Play Store, but I think that you'll be able to download that and then any other new games that come out. Um, I imagine there will probably be exclusive games that you have to download through the Xbox app. Um, so yeah, that's all coming. They said it's sometime in November. I don't think they gave a certain date, but
Yeah, Sarah had an exact tweet that I'm just going to go through real quick. She said, "The court's ruling to open up Google's mobile store in the US will allow more choice and flexibility. Our mission is to allow more players to play on more devices, so we are thrilled to share that starting in November, like you said, players will be able to play and purchase Xbox games directly from the Xbox app on Android." I mean, that's awesome. That's like,
yeah,
that's huge. Um, yeah,
considering that Android is like formerly an open source platform.
right, right. Um, I'm still I think just like stuck on all of this where it's just like, but what about Apple? Like
Yeah.
not to be the person where it's like immediately just like, yeah, this is good, but hey, what about this thing?
I
But
think there is. Go ahead, sorry.
no, it's just like and my thing was like, yeah, again, like talking like mainly cuz I know Apple has had a ton of shit like well, first off, real quick, the lawsuit was actually Epic versus Google. And
Is that what it was? Okay.
yeah, and that made me remember that Epic and Apple also got into it. Um, and theirs was, I think, what you were talking about, where it's like purchasing a skin or something like that in a game on Apple makes you like purchase it through the App Store, and then the coinciding App Store fee either hits the user or like is taken from the cut. I can't remember.
Right.
Um, but either way, and then I like started looking into it more, and I guess in Europe you can download like other app stores onto your iPhones, but that's only in Europe where this like got settled.
Well, they also started requiring Apple to use USB-C in
Right,
Europe way earlier than.
right. So like anyway, I'm still just like, but like can we also go after them and like make them allow for a more like open front?
Yeah, I'm shocked it's not like a standard.
Right,
Because I mean, Google and Apple are doing it for the same reasons. And frankly, Google only started doing it because they saw Apple getting away with it,
right,
and Apple continues to get away with it.
right.
Um, yeah, I'm shocked that this didn't come together as like um, you know, FTC lawsuit against all manufacturers, and get the standards board involved to say, okay, um, you know, your users own this device. And like Apple's argument is, oh, we're doing it to protect our users. And it's like, well, that's not necessarily your responsibility.
Right. Right, we're doing this to protect our users, but then when your users like, but I want to do this thing, it's just like,
Yeah.
no, we're
And there's
protecting you.
and like Android has something like that. I don't know if like iPhones do, but by default, you can't install apps downloaded from the web on Android.
Yeah,
But I mean, there's a really easy setting to turn off, so you can do that.
which is totally fine. Like
Yeah.
I think having that set up as like a bare bones thing, so you don't have people accidentally doing things, right? Or downloading like harmful software, stuff like that. Like absolutely all for that. And yeah, I know this the security of are you sure isn't like fantastic, but like at that point it's like you like you did your part. You did your best to like stop somebody from doing something that
Hmm.
they may not have wanted to do. But at the end of the day, like I feel like if as a consumer you want to use your device to do a thing, like there should only be so much that can be stopped. Really, I don't know. Maybe that's too free thinking.
Yeah, I guess so. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting to follow what happens with Apple. I imagine this is a pretty damning outcome.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to think so too.
I mean,
I'm
if for
sure.
some reason Apple weasels out of this, then there certainly needs to be some degree of larger lawsuit here.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no reason that Apple should be exempt.
yeah, I'm sure Epic is rubbing their hands together and laughing maniacally at the outcome of the Google lawsuit. That,
Yeah.
and
I mean, good for Epic.
I'm pretty sure they won the whole Fortnite App Store issue. Uh, because I'm pretty sure Fortnite is back on iOS.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Um, okay, yeah, and then kind of hand in hand with that, Xbox also, I guess somewhat in tandem, right? Announced that XCloud or Xbox Cloud um, is kind of expanding, and you're going to be able to play your full game library through it.
Yeah, I mean, this is really exciting for me. Um, because, people will see this and be like, "Oh, I thought you could just stream from your console any game that you have downloaded," which like you can,
Mm-hmm.
but like in my instance where I live, my upload speeds are god awful,
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact that I have gigabit internet. Um, so that doesn't exactly work for me. So to be able to just have to worry about the download speeds of wherever I am, uh, I'm really excited about that. I mean, I it'll make me use the cloud streaming service uh, a lot more,
And
especially seeing as like, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, and I'm assuming like you don't need to have the game downloaded onto your console. It just needs to be in your library, right? Which are two
Yeah, that's
separate things.
right.
Um, so like that's also kind of huge.
Yeah. So and like, I don't know. I'm sure. Well, the PS5 storage is a lot cheaper and to upgrade, but I'm in this constant loop of downloading and deleting games on my Series X. Um, so it'll be nice to like be able to get rid of some of those games that I haven't necessarily played yet that
Yeah.
I want to keep track of.
Yep.
Um,
And I also think like there are certain games that lend themselves to like being playable, more playable on the go. You know, so it's like you may not be like I don't know. I can't think of any good examples right now, but like Peggle's a good example there.
Peggle fucking slaps.
Peggle fucking slaps. Like you're like you may not take up again console storage with Peggle, and like you might be playing Star Wars Outlaws on your console, but you may not think that it translates so well for on the go. But aha, you have Peggle in your game library, so
Yeah.
when you're on the go, you don't have to worry about taking up any console storage, and there it is. You can play it and you know have the thrill of pegging those little pegs.
Yeah. Pegging them hard.
So it's
Um,
fantastic.
yeah, and I think for me, like I'm not necessarily playing them in a mobile environment. Like a lot of times when I play cloud gaming is when I'm traveling and have my laptop with me.
Sure.
And I bring, I have a Series X controller that I have linked to my laptop, and it's really no different than console gaming, other than like every now and then you get some glyphs and there's lag and whatever. Um so yeah, I don't know. It'll be a nice feature. It'll be nice to take games like Outlaws, because I mean that might come to Game Pass eventually,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's cool. I know a lot of people have been excited for this.
Is
So hopefully it
there
gets some good use.
is there an Xbox is there an Xbox app for like the various like streaming sticks,
There is for
like a Fire Stick?
Fire Stick. I
Okay.
think that's the only one. I know there
Um.
isn't. I know there isn't for Android TV.
Okay.
And
Uh.
then Samsung TVs, you can get the Xbox app.
So I mean, you think about like this in those instances as well. Like that, they Xbox has had this whole like concept of play your games wherever on whatever, and they're progressing like very well at this point, especially with like this whole move. So
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, this is great to see. um and some really exciting stuff.
I'm really hoping like both this announcement and then the lawsuit announcement means that um we'll see an Xbox app on like the Google TV products, because again that's what I have. Um and like I have one of the Google TV sticks. It's not really a stick, but
Yeah.
um even to be able to like travel with that, because it's got the HDMI built in, and then it's just a power cable,
Yep.
so it's pretty low profile. I can put it pretty much anywhere. um you know that'll be cool.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else on Xbox?
No, good week for Xbox.
Good week for Xbox. And if you're listening to this on October 17th, it's also a good day if you're an Xbox fan, because Xbox has a partner preview happening today. So we'll likely be talking about that next week. So Xbox heavy right now. Nintendo, release the Switch 2 information, please, for the love of God. But that'll do it for this week's episode of the Good Game Bad Game podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. As always, if you could leave us a rating or review wherever you do listen to the podcast, it would be greatly appreciated. Uh, Head over to our YouTube channel, leave us a comment on what you think, this whole Epic versus Google lawsuit could mean for the future of storefronts and across all devices. And other than that, if you could share this podcast with a friend, and we will talk to you next week.